Hey, family, how's it going? We are back for another Wednesday night podcast on The Pulse. I'd like to welcome everybody to The Pulse as we get ready to get started here. Letting people join in for the moment or for a quick second. So give them time to hop in. Just around the horn real fast. How has everyone's week been so far? It's hump day. Rich, how's your week been?
Just fine.
Good. How about you, Lynn?
No complaints, but I will say the shutdown is starting to affect my business.
Say that one more time.
The shutdown is starting to affect my business.
Is that right? How so?
Well, I've had a couple of people ready to, start their plans, and their money is funny due to the shutdown.
Got it. So what does that? What is there a workaround for that, or
No, you just gotta get back in touch with people as soon as the shutdown hits. I mean, it was over. Then you because I'm assuming, I believe that everybody's going to get retro what they're owed. I'm making that confident, optimistic assumption, but hard to do with this guy.
it is?
No, that'll be clear. If it's, because I read it where it's kind of clear in law. So the things that are clear in law that you can't bend and twist, the Supreme Court makes those rulings. Usually they'll go with 9-0. It'll be automatic. Some things President Trump won't even try. Anything in the gray area, he will. But if it's straight through, just like people who are not getting paid, when they do get paid, they'll get all their back pay. Period.
Well, that's the hope.
No, there's no hope. Now, Speaker Johnson's already said that. Again, this is in law. When it's in law and it's not subjective, it's clear cut. There's no hope. This is what it is.
Well, there's been a lot of things that were law that
not like this.
Well, it's
straight objective.
A lot of things have gone to the Supreme Court and have been reinterpreted.
No. Well, wait a minute. You don't reinterpret what's straight objective. If you reinterpret the abortion situation, yes. If you reinterpret the 14th Amendment, citizen birthright citizenship, yes. But when it's straight objective, 1 + 1 is 2. You cannot reinterpret that.
No, I don't know if I can agree with you on that.
No, 1 + 1 is 2. If the law says you will pay this person, you'll be wrong. Let's move on. Because I'm ready tonight.
The hope is people get paid. However, they have already
be right on this.
They have already come out and said that they may not back pay federal employees.
It's in law. Speaker Johnson's already on video. It's in law.
I read the law. I read the black and white.
You can't get around this.
Remember, even with that being
said, I'm not going to participate in no fear mongering. Some things I just know better.
During furlough, you're also
the things that we have to really interpret tonight.
Federal employees.
The things that we have to really interpret tonight is way more important than this issue. I know this because when we talk about these certain issues, it's going to raise flags. And I'm glad Lynn is on, because when we start talking about these numbers and stuff, the numbers are usually objective unless the way you pulled your numbers were subjective.
Again,
that is going to be interpreted.
There is a law, and I read it. I read the black and white that literally states that during a furlough, federal employees cannot be fired. But we've seen
you're not furloughed
when you have a stopgap, right? Because of the CR.
That's fine. You can have the argument. I'm not gonna engage in that. I'm not.
What is it called? What is it called then?
the federal employees are not getting paid.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, when they pass the budget, or the CR, whatever they pass, they're going to get their money. Period.
That's the hope.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not tonight.
What I'm asking, however, is
I'm not engaging in this. That's not
during a CR and
Nope.
they send federal employees home.
no.
What is
I'm not
what is
engaging-
the time period?
Because I
called?
know I'm confident. This is the law. You can interpret this any way that you want, but
Mhm.
this is the law and it's straightforward. They will get their money. Period. And I'll put $100 up right now so we can end this
Uh-oh.
and move on to something else.
Uh-oh.
Because
What
I'm
is-
not engaging in certain things, just like about people that come to this country legally or undocumented, and then we talk about how ICE is doing its job. I'm not engaging in that conversation anymore. Because as
What
long as the Democrats keep saying that these people are good people and this and that, as long as they keep saying that, if they lose these midterms, you'll know why.
What is the time period between a CR when people are sent home? What's that called?
I'm not sure. What is it? What is it?
It's a furlough.
Okay.
They're furloughed employees.
I'm putting up $100 right now. That's why I'm just going to move on.
They're
It's not
called-
even worth. It's not even worth a conversation. It's not.
And
Let's
what's
move on.
happened, what this administration has already toyed with. I know what Speaker Johnson said, but what
Okay.
Speaker Johnson, what was said at one point was maybe they won't be back paid.
And he also said some people deserve it, some people don't.
That's
Absolutely.
their fault.
So you get into
Everyone is going to get paid their money from November 1st.
You mean October 1st?
I'm sorry, October 1st, and then
October.
November 1st, whenever they get it passed this month, if they get it passed. I'm putting up $100 right now. I'm confident.
No, I was just saying October 1st.
So that'll be the first period, and then they don't get paid on November 1st, that'll be the second period. So there'll have to be 2 periods that they'll have to make up.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not even.
So I hope they get paid.
I'm not hoping at all. I know they're getting paid.
That's what I want.
If you want to overthrow a country, you pull a stunt like that.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
However,
I'm not
remember,
even-
we're talking about a felon that is okay with committing
Oh,
felony.
Jesus. And I told you, we've already gone through that.
Yep.
He was politically persecuted. All those charges will get dismissed.
But right now, he's what?
The president. Oh,
And felon,
okay.
34 times over.
Okay. Well, I got a felony on my record.
He'll
So,
get the skate.
so hold on. So I have a felony on my record and a misdemeanor on my record. So if I run for the White House and I get elected, you be like, well, Richard was all right, but he got that felony on his record. Oh, no.
If it's on your record, you're a felon.
You're a felon.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
But he was politically persecuted. I was racially persecuted, racially profiled. But
Look,
that's fine.
listen. You can call whatever you want. He
Uh-huh.
committed a crime.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, half America said he didn't.
Okay, you know what? What you can do with half of America? Because listen, I
Y'all
know
believe
crime.
argument. I can
I
see.
know crime.
I can see.
When you write off
Mhm.
your booty call as a
Okay.
business expense,
So
you
I'm-
committed a crime.
let's see here. It is 10:29 at 6:09. I am writing off my Southern card. I'm conceding. You have won, Yankee. Darius, you have won.
Listen. Look, you just went on your soapbox and told us how clear the law is. 1 + 1 is 2. Listen, having sex with Stormy Daniels is not a crime.
It is not.
But when you write it off on your business books, you have committed a crime 34 times. That's all.
I disagree. I think he was politically persecuted, and I think the country made a choice.
But
And
you
just
know,
like
you keep moving. Is what he did a crime?
wait a minute.
Is writing off your booty
I don't believe he
call a
did
crime? And your
I don't
business,
believe he did that. I don't
he
believe
did
that.
do it.
No,
But they had
he didn't.
evidence of.
No, because he said he never did it.
He did it and he submitted it. It's part of his business records.
Okay.
His CFO went where?
So,
Where did his CFO go?
I'm willing to put up $100 that they'll get their back pay from October 1st, and they don't get paid on November 1st, which it doesn't look like they're going to. unless a miracle happens between now and November 1st, they'll get paid that back pay. Now, when I try to bet Mr. Glass and Mr. Deuce about his name being put on the ballot, they said, his name may not be put on the ballot. I said, oh, yes, it will be. And that Supreme Court will rule unanimously. Because if they don't, they'll lose the country. Period. I won that bet. They didn't take it, though. They were too scared.
Right, so you got to go to the best that you won. But look, you could bet. Let me take you back to my hood, in the money. That what he did with those business records referring to the Stormy Daniels payoff was a crime. Okay. Now put those ducats where your mouth is on that one.
Well, first of all, I don't hold on. First of all, I don't bet folks in the East Coast because I don't know if they mob related. See, I don't know what you can have some Italian friends up there in Brooklyn.
I got some Goombas.
See, this is what I'm talking about. So
I got them.
What I'm gonna do.
What you gonna do?
Is bet Mr. Glass $100 right here on this podcast that all the federal employees will get their back pay. Period.
If I was a man, I'd take that bet. But just like I told you the first time, I'm not a betting man.
No, that's fine. So I told you a few weeks ago, I said the Democrats are not going to cave. He said, oh, they're weak. They're going to cave. I said, you're probably right, but I'm going to bet you that they don't cave. And they haven't. And now these next couple of days or these next couple of weeks, you'll say, Richard, they're going to cave. I'm going to put $100 up right now. With both of y'all. I'll take my chance with the mob, if there is a mob, because I don't think there is an Italian mob. So I'll put up $100 with both of y'all right now that the Democrats don't cave.
Don't bet.
The Republicans will come and negotiate. Because this snap, and I'm laughing about this snap, because there's a lot of different twists to this snap. Because I said, well, wait a minute. I thought when black folks got it was called food stamps. And then all of a sudden in 2008, it became SNAP. I said, oh, a lot of white folks must have started getting food stamps, so they had to clean it up. Okay.
No, they was always getting.
Oh, yeah, they've
always been the highest recipient of food stamps.
No, that's not what I said. No. Food Stamp Act passed in 1964. But when they did that, remember that's doing all the civil rights stuff. So 1964, Civil Rights Act 1. Okay. Now, that was called the Food Stamp Act because a lot of black folks was on it and they were getting credit for it. They kept that secret about the white folks being on it. And then in 2008, when too many white folks going on, they said, well, we got to change the name. That's all I'm saying. That's why I said this is an interesting topic because it touches over a lot of different things.
Richard, did you ever have food stamps?
I think, yeah.
Listen, if you went to the store and you tore a stamp out of the booklet, have you done that?
I never did it like that. Out here in California, you have the EBT
Okay.
card. I never did that, yeah.
I have done that, and I'll give you the rules. The 5s and 10s you could not tear out of the booklet. The cashier had to tear them out the booklet.
Okay.
So the name change came with the fact that there were no longer paper stamps.
What I have here in history is in 2008 when we hit that Great Recession. That's when the name changed. See, that's fact.
I'm not disputing that.
Okay.
What I'm saying also is the paper changed.
All right. So I tell you what. This is the issue, and this is why I said I don't want to talk about this other stuff because it's so detrimental. Because I know a lot of people are going to listen to this tonight. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about, and I'm glad Lynn is on because if I don't explain it correctly, trust and believe, Mr. Glass, he will. About who are the most people on food stamps. Well, first of all, there's more white people in America than anybody else. So when we say that, Mr. Medeiros is going to say, he's going to say the appropriate term on how you measure that. He's going to say, I know he knows, per capita or in proportion. So if it's more white,
I'm just going to go, not proportion, not per capita, just
demographic. Yeah.
The people receiving that benefit the most are white.
But there are more white people, so you have to count in the proportion.
Okay. I don't.
Okay.
Why do you? Why do you have to do that?
Because I don't have to count that in. If I'm just doing a census.
Hold on.
I don't have to do that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
And I hope a lot of, I want a white person to come on here tonight. Because I sometimes, I want a white person to come on. I really do. I want a white person, European American, Caucasian, Italian American, Irish, German, British. Because you have to go in proportion. You have to. Because in other words, hold on, Mr. Glass, if I was shooting a basketball and I only shot 5 times, but I had a higher percentage than you, but you shot that ball damn near 100 times. So your percentage may be higher, it may be lower, but you have to know the percentage of how many times you shot versus how many times I shot for it to be a fair comparison.
So are you saying?
Whoa!
Are you saying that?
You just killed yourself with that argument.
Yeah, because are you saying
when they put up 3-point percentages, they do not do proportions. Your 3-point percentage is what it is based on what you shoot.
Nope, that's a lie. They tell you when you play in the league, they say if you didn't play in this many games, we can't consider you for the MVP. We can't consider your numbers. You don't play this many games.
Now you done moved it again. I'm just talking about your 3-point percentage.
Oh my God. Okay.
In the game tonight, if I look at everybody's 3-point percentage, somebody shot once.
So here it is.
They're 100%.
Okay.
They shot it and made it.
So
they shot it and missed it. They're 0%.
What's the relevance of where you're going with that, Rich?
When we talk about the most people on food stamps that are eligible, who are able to qualify and receive food stamps, if there's more white people, there's a higher possibility that there's going to be more white people on it. So you have to go by proportion. So if you have 100 white people and you have so many on it, that's going to be their percent. But you got to say how many white people that is in the population. The same for black folks. If you say, well, black folks are this and black folks are that, and I'm gonna show you the prime example. You say, well, black folks are doing all the crime. Are they? But how many black people in proportion to how many black people actually live in America are doing all of these crimes?
Okay, I got you. You're actually talking about ratio, right?
Yeah, the ratio, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't directly disagree with you on that. Because there are more white people in America than there are us. However, if you move that and you show the amount of black people and you take the same population of white people, they'll still be higher. Just like if you do business, right? Corporations get more bailouts or welfare than mom and pop shops. Even if you take the same amount in the population and you do the statistics.
No, I can't agree.
And then you also have to look at it. If you're doing ratio, you have to look at where in the country we're talking about. Farmers need more assistance.
So if you believe the surveys, and that's why I said it's subjective in how you interpret the numbers. Because if you I went to one site, they tried to say black folks 22.7. Another site said 26. Another site said 25. So there's a plus and minus of 3% error rate. You always do that for voting and everything else, and this would apply here too.
So what did it say about the white demographic?
Let me go to the first one here.
It said between
it says white people are the largest. Okay, hold on. Now this one, and I actually did this correctly. I pulled the site down. I wasn't pulling the internet site for all the others, but this one I did, and this is just he said Al Jazeera for those who accept Al Jazeera. For those who accept it.
I do.
They say, according to the most recent USDA, if you trust the USDA, because the person that's in charge of the White House, if you trust, here we go.
What are we doing?
I'm just reading you off the freaking internet.
Just read it then. But you keep putting these little subtext in there.
I know you're coming. So here we go. Navy. Here we go. According to the most recent USDA data available from 2023, white people are the largest racial group receiving SNAP benefits, 35.4. African Americans are next at 25.7. Hispanic 15.7, Asian 3.9. Now, while 1 second here. Now that's how they did it. Now
so their percentage, so that white percentage is percentage of what? The white population or the U.S. population?
I see
Wait,
what you.
they hold on. They didn't define that in this one. So here, let me go to
That's
another.
why. Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
That's why you just use the total.
All right. So let's go to another one here. This is now. Hold on. This is for Deuce. This is what he would do. AI overview. This is one AI overview. While white individuals make up the largest percentage of SNAP participants, a disproportionately higher percentage of Asian American AAPI households and a higher percentage of Black households receive food stamps compared to their share of the general population.
Yeah.
Therefore, while the largest number of individuals on food stamps are white, Black households and AAPI households experience higher rates of food stamp participation on a per capita basis. If you're going by this particular AI overview. If.
I am.
And I will, because I read that one also. And the reason why.
The USDA is saying
and
it, let's just say that's what it is. We can't prove that it isn't.
Well, you say you don't trust President Trump, and he's running these agencies, and they don't let out the information.
Listen. He ain't running nothing.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, then don't blame him for anything then.
Because I didn't trust Biden either. I don't want that to be overlooked.
Man, so y'all just gonna be Jack Welch and all the numbers.
Who?
No, I'm not.
I'm not making these numbers up. I'm reading off from different.
Because you remember how Jack Welch was? May he rest in peace.
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening.
When the number was good,
It
was right.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the right number. When the number was bad,
he didn't use it.
Bogus.
So when I said earlier in this conversation tonight, I said, if you trust the sites over how they're obtaining their information and how they did their survey, if you trust it,
I trust it.
well, I don't know which side I trust more than another. I don't know.
There you go. I trust it.
Well,
because you know why? You know why I'm going to trust it? Because I don't have the proof to not trust it.
Yeah.
Well, but I read you from
your life and just trust it and just
relay
the information.
Hold on. I read to you from two different sites. Let me go to another site here. Racial and ethnic diversity among recipients is also notable. Now they keep saying this. Non-Hispanic white make up approximately 57% of the population of America. Account for 36% of SNAP recipients. Black folks make up 22.7%. Wait a minute.
No.
Hold on. They said Black folks represent 22.7% of the participants, a share that's nearly twice the population of the general population. I think we're around 12 to 13, 14% of the general population.
Now let me add this also, because even if you don't also incorporate the understanding that the lower or poorer class, low income class wage earners are made up of, generally speaking, minority groups, right? Then it would conflate the actual situation that we're the concept of the situation that we're talking about. And so if generally speaking in America that we are given lower wages, well, then it's going to shift us to actually have to use those programs a little bit more.
Which is what this other site said about, quote, factors influencing state variations. And it said economic conditions. States with higher rates of poverty and unemployment generally have a higher proportion of their population needing and receiving SNAP benefits. This is what you're saying. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, that doesn't take away the amount of the white people who are using it. It just says that they're paid essentially at a higher rate to keep them away from the poverty level.
But there's more white people. And the reason I keep drilling this down and we keep going around and around, because when people watch this podcast, they hear the argument from both sides of the aisle about this issue. Because Black people, we're portrayed as being lazy, shiftless, uninspired, anti-American, and all we want to do is sell drugs, sing a few rap songs, and collect food stamps. In my personal opinion, that's how Black folks of a certain segment are portrayed.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion.
I can agree with that.
So when I look at this, and people are going to, talk about the numbers, And so when I look at it from a white person's perspective, they're gonna say, well, there's more white folks in us, so yeah, we're gonna have a higher number possibly. That makes perfectly good sense, and the numbers from these different sites say the same thing. So, it's kind of like they say, well, blacks and Mexicans, or black and brown, we make up the general population, a huge population in the prison system all across America. And I would say, well, how many black folks per our population in America? Our black population. So if you have 100 black folks and 10 go to jail, you say, okay. But if you have 100 black folks and 40 or 50 are going to jail, well, hey, whoa, that's a little too much. But then they say, well, your number per capita, or your number in proportion to your population in America, is very high. You make up a very high statistic. And that's why they've always tried to say the criminal judicial system is prejudiced against minorities, particularly black and brown. Remember about the death row and how the death row has so many people on it, but yet half of those people are African American, but yet we only make up a certain percentage of America?
And that's what I was about to say, because the continuation of that actual math, that actual equation, is the exoneration rate. And if you actually consider the exoneration rate and the amount of black people that are exonerated because of lack of a mistrial, as it were, we are ridiculously above everybody else, right? So the full equation might start to say something, but when you take all parts into consideration, we are not the biggest number of purported crime offenders. Now, I'll tell you what is actually the biggest crime offender in America that nobody actually wants to talk about, and that's because of the influence, the impact, and the way that it actually hits the average everyday American, and that's white collar crime. When those crimes are committed, it's going to hurt hundreds of thousands of people, or even millions of people in the end. That's the actual hardest hitting crime that's committed in America.
Right.
Iran being the best example of that.
But in this argument that I was making earlier, it says here, get this on my phone, nearly 60% of the people that the Innocence Project has helped free or exonerate since 1992 are black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then another poll said more than half of the 3,300 people who were exonerated between 1989 and 2022 are black. Despite the fact, this is how they do this, despite the fact that black people account for just 13.6% of the US population.
Right.
So when I was talking about, when people say, well, they ran you out of office, you've been losing in those civil suits, so you must be no good. I'm saying, wait a minute. How many black men, whether it's criminal or civil, have lost in court when they were actually innocent? Too many to count.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't a criminal situation where I was being charged with murdering a Caucasian woman, because then I'd be up out of here. So that's the truth.
Oh, we know it.
Oh, okay. So and back to this food stamp situation. So when you were saying, this is why when you were saying, Richard, I think the Democrats are going to cave, I said, not on this.
I thought they were.
Because I said, this is for the healthcare, and this is a righteous situation.
Hey, I'm happy. Look,
Well, this is Wednesday number. I'm sorry, it's Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many days?
Wednesday, 29 days.
Yeah.
Wednesday number 5.
Yep. And I will take that egg and rub it in my face all day. I'm happy that they haven't broken. But let me introduce to the actual stage the man in the high castle.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
My brother, you got your, there you are. You ain't on mute no more. We can hear you. Let's get it.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing, sirs?
Doing well. How are you?
Not bad. It's a
Good.
beautiful Wednesday night.
Indeed. Let's weigh in on the topic. Where do you stand about what we've discussed so far?
I believe American grit may have to go the hard way with this and wait it out.
So explain the American grit. I'm not following that. What do you mean by that?
Well, that's a great question. I do think that Americans who are realizing what's going on, that the Democrats are stalling, they're desperate, and they're delaying.
Okay.
they're doing this on behalf of illegal immigration.
Okay, I'm gonna pause
Say,
you right.
for instance,
Pause you right there. So explain in depth how they're doing this on behalf of illegal immigration first. But before you even explain that, tell me the difference between an undocumented immigrant and an illegal immigrant.
well, that is a great question. So which one first?
Undocumented.
An undocumented immigrant would be someone who has entered this country illegally, or perhaps their status is invalid with their certification.
I don't agree with you on that. But now explain illegal immigration.
I thought I just did.
Oh, that was ill.
Undocumented.
I thought you were defining what you meant by undocumented first. My apologies. So I'll reverse that. So if you can define or explain to us what an undocumented immigrant is before you go into the illegal immigrant.
This is someone who's just came over. They came over here either as a stowaway, but they're here.
Okay. And so how long does it take for someone to be considered illegal? I promise you this is not an I got you moment. This is just for information. This is informational purposes. So I can make sure we're on the
I
same.
believe 90 days.
Okay. So in order for someone who's come over, regardless of how they came over, as long as a judge hasn't ruled that they can't come back over initially, they can be in the United States for up to 365 days before they have to file any documentation to certify whether or not they are legal or illegal. If a judge rules that they can't actually have asylum in America and they don't leave America at that point, they can be considered illegal. If they get deported and come back over, right, after a judge has ruled that they're not supposed to be here, that's another movement of them being illegal again. That's the difference between the two. You were close, so I congratulate you on that.
Well,
but
thank you for the technicalities. I appreciate it.
No worries. So, but let's jump into when you say that the Democrats are stalling for the illegal immigrants. Let's run into that, and then if you can tie that into the topic of SNAP benefit.
All right. Well, I would imagine that I'm not going to imagine.
Okay.
Illegals with the Democrats, or that's something that's occurring under the Harris Biden administration.
It's the Biden-Harris administration.
Right. There was 20 million illegal immigrants that came through here. And essentially what this is all about right now is that the Democrats would love to have 50 million more.
Are you sure about that number?
50 million more for what?
It's 50 million. It's 50 million more, or Project 2025. Which one would you want?
Well, I don't want to bring in Project 2025 because I already read that, and I understand it a bit better than what you might think. But I was being somewhat facetious when you mentioned the 50 million illegal immigrants number that they, being the Democrats, wanted to bring over.
Did he say 50 or 15?
50 million more.
50.
15?
50.
Yes.
For
They
what?
would love to have 50 million more.
For what?
I imagine 20 million wasn't enough.
For what? For what?
Okay. Let's
Okay.
but, all right, Rich, Lynn and Rich, y'all want to weigh in on that?
So I want to go back to the man in the high castle.
Yes, sir.
Because overall, this is what he's saying. And this is what a lot of swing voters said.
Mhm.
Whether it was 15 million or 24 or 29 million that came over undocumented, and maybe they stayed past the 365 days and they never got a court order to be returned back, and now they're illegal. Regardless of the situation, if you don't go to a country correctly, people are going to say you did wrong versus those who come to this country correctly. Now, legally, Mr. Glass is correct. But the man in the high castle is basically saying overall that the Democrats are basically delaying this for illegal immigration. That may be a second or a third factor. That number one factor is that healthcare, enhanced healthcare.
Richard.
I'm sorry, enhanced.
Richard.
Please say my words correctly.
I can't. Richard.
Go ahead.
Somebody got to help me with the 50 million immigrants. For what?
I can't answer that part. So
What
what
are
I
they going to do
little
for
bit.
what?
Well,
I could do a little bit.
Please say for votes. Please say that.
I could say a little bit.
okay.
For votes.
All right.
That's your
Say for instance this, their birth rate. You have 5 million after 4 more years.
Great point.
All right. I'm just doing a little calisthenics in my
So
mind.
for votes,
Okay.
2 decades from now,
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. See, the man in the
2
high castle.
decades from now,
The man in the high castle makes a great point, and that's why. Hold on. What he's saying is, if you let these people come over here illegally and they have children, currently by the 14th Amendment, they'll get birthright citizenship. He makes a great point, and so white America as a whole is saying, "Hey, we're at 57% right now, but our numbers are dwindling. By 2050, we may be at 40 or 35. Oh my God!" And then these people are coming over here undocumented or illegal or however you want to call it,
Yeah.
and they have children. And if the
so,
Supreme Court
but it's still for what?
for voting, because those
For
children.
vote. So
Because those
Democrats in
Right.
2025
Okay.
are going to say, "Hey, 50
Hold on.
million people, come on in."
Well,
So 2 decades from now,
Mhm.
they can vote Democrat.
yes, that's the long-term game. But listen to this.
That is
The
most-
Supreme Court, this is where the man in the high castle makes a great point. If the Supreme Court takes up this birthright citizenship on this docket that they're supposed to, and they do their reinterpretation and say, "Hey, that 14th Amendment was for the children of the enslaved African in 1865, and that's why they did that 14th Amendment in I think 1867 or 68. That's the only reason why. It wasn't meant for somebody to come here undocumented or become illegal after being here 365 days, and they can have their children and they get birthright citizenship. That wasn't the spirit of that amendment, and that's what the man in the high castle and a certain percentage of white America, a certain percentage, I don't know how high, that's what they're saying.
That is ridiculous.
Okay.
I'll
Yes, those low birth rates. They're low birth rates.
That's ridiculous.
okay. So
We're going to hold. Well, listen, why don't you just say that they're holding it up for what they said they're holding it up for, which is what?
Enhanced.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
Oh,
Give them that. Hold on. If you give them that and they don't take it, now you got something. But
Well,
tying this into illegals,
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we said that was a secondary.
it isn't.
Me and
Illegals
Mr.
are not even on this map.
The man in the high castle, myself, we're going to acknowledge that that's a secondary
What is?
issue for the Democrat. The
It
number one,
depends on what map you're looking at.
2 decades from now, Democrats
Do you
are
acknowledge
holding up everything for votes 2 decades from now? And we saw in this election, what did those people do? What did those brown people do?
they
That
voted
could vote. Who'd they vote for?
President Trump.
There you go.
Hold on. Wait a
So
minute.
that's the plan.
Hold on, Mr. Lynn
That's the
Medeiros.
plan. You
Hold
got
on,
to do
Mr.
that.
Lynn Medeiros. Wait a minute.
Do that.
Hold on, Mr. Lynn. You
Yeah.
told me you got at me a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago, and said he didn't win by that much. It was a close election.
It was
I said,
close.
"You won the majority." He said,
Yeah,
"No,
but
he got
guess what? It wouldn't be
49.8%."
close if people that look like us
Yeah.
had lost their damn mind. And now they're getting deported.
So
the man in the high castle, I understand exactly what you're saying.
I get what he's saying.
I'm not saying it's 100% right. I'm not saying it's 100% incorrect.
Listen,
But
I
you
understand
represent a
everything
certain
he's saying. What I'm saying is,
you represent a certain
20
percentage
years?
of voters in America, Mr. Man in the High Castle. Well, yes, you do.
So what I would say, let me clarify a couple of things, right? The first thing that I want to clarify is the healthcare system is not being drained by illegal / undocumented immigrants. I want to point that out. There's roughly 0.04% of emergency services that are provided for illegal immigrants that receive any type of emergency type of healthcare benefit. That's a fact. But I want to move this and shift this back into how this correlates to SNAP benefits being held up and why this is the Democrats' fault that the SNAP benefits are being held up. That's where I'm at with it. So why are SNAP benefits being held up by the Democrats?
The man in the High Castle told you that he believes in his heart that the primary reason why it's being held up is because they're fighting for illegal immigration. Now, this is why he's not entirely incorrect. Because anytime a Democrat has gone on talking about illegal immigration, they always say they never acknowledge that the people came here undocumented. They never acknowledge that. They never acknowledge that they're illegal. They say they're good people. In other words, the Democrats use that same argument. If you say, what's a man and a woman? They can't tell you. And I sat here and I told your ass in this election, I said, until the Democrats can define a man and a woman.
there you go.
Okay.
There you go, Richard.
Man in the High Castle? Am I wrong?
You
Man
keep playing in the exception.
No,
Playing in the exception.
Mr.
Why don't you play in the rule? Play in the rule.
Let the man in the High Castle talk.
Listen, everybody in Congress, you know what most of them are? Lawyers.
Mr. Brown,
and they know the law.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
So they
enough.
can tell you that coming over here without permission is illegal. Period. They'll all tell you that. They're not going to say, they're going to not answer that question and just say, they're good people. No. If you ask them, if coming through Tijuana without
No Democrat has ever said
is
that.
illegal,
No Democrat
they
in
will tell you
Congress.
it is.
Oh my gosh.
They will
No
tell you
Democrat.
it is.
Man in the High Castle, can you respond to him, please? Thank you.
For what?
I will say this. Chuck Schumer, during COVID, he had mentioned, and it's YouTubeable, that the low birth rates of his demographic, these people were brought in to
What's his demographic?
white,
What's his demographic?
white, sir.
What?
Hold on, Mr. Medeiros.
Chuck is what? I need to know.
Don't
What's
answer
his
that
demographic?
question, Mr. High Castle.
White, sir.
White.
Don't answer that question, Mr.
He's what?
High Castle.
said
Don't
white.
answer that question. Don't
What
answer
is
it.
Yep, he said white.
Don't answer that question, Mr. High Castle. Don't answer
Chuck
that.
is Jewish.
Don't answer that question, Mr. High Castle. Don't
Chuck,
answer that.
I'm not asking him no more. I'm telling. Chuck is Jewish.
He's Jewish.
He's white, sir.
His demographic is having a problem.
Hold on a second.
His demographic, white.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No, his
Hold on.
demographic is not white. He's Jewish.
Mr. Castle, Mr. High Castle, hold on 1 second. Let me respond for you on this.
Yes.
Some Jews recognize themselves as being white, just like some Hispanics recognize themselves for being white. Other Hispanics tell you they brown. So other Jews may tell you, no, I'm not white. So I don't know.
So Chuck is telling you he's white or he's Jewish.
Chuck says he's Jewish.
Chuck will tell you he's Jewish. If
will
you
ask-
ask him,
I want to see those birth
tell you
papers.
Jewish people are good people.
Hold on.
Tell you that too.
Give
We're
me a
talking about race. Sir.
let me address that. You want to see his birth paper. I think that's a disingenuous way to deflect an actual or conceding to something right or wrong. You're not going to see the man's birth certificate or documents, so on and so forth. He's not running for the seat of the president of the United States. That's one. But two, out of his own admittance, he said that he's Jewish, and you have to accept him at his word because we don't have anything else to rebut that outside of our own personal biases.
Mr. Glass, Mr. Highcastle responded and said he wasn't talking about ethnicity, he was talking about race. And he was basically saying that
Nope. Hey, got you.
My ethnicity
His
my
demographic is
ethnicity is American, but my
demographic
race is black.
Jewish.
Wait, hold on. What race are you, Mr. Highcastle?
My race is black. My ethnicity is American through
So
and
your
through.
nationality is American.
No,
Yes.
my ethnicity
Your nationality is American.
Is
No,
American.
my ethnicity
Your
is
nationality.
American.
What nation?
My
were you
people are
born
from
in?
here.
Huh?
My people are from here.
What
My
nation were you
people's
born in?
people right here in America, the best
And
country in the
your
world.
nationality is American.
No, that's my
Yeah.
ethnicity. My race is black.
So I just looked up the definition of nationality, and a quick definition from AI says the status of belonging to a particular nation is nationality, an ethnic group forming a part of one or more political nations.
Hold on. I'm looking up ethnicity.
My people aren't from Africa. They're not from Asia.
Hold on a second.
They're from here in America. The ethnicities.
Hold on a second, Mr. Highcastle.
Yeah.
Ethnicity. On the I'm on Bing, Copilot search. They say for a definition of ethnicity, the quality or fact of belonging to a population group or subgroup made up of people who share a common descent or cultural background.
Mm-hmm.
So, in his opinion, Mr. And I can't say that I agree with it, but in his opinion, under his idea of looking at the definition of ethnicity, that's what he's trying to say.
That what? The ethnicity is American?
I'm saying on the Copilot search on Bing, it says ethnicity, the quality or fact of belonging to a population group or subgroup made up of people who share a common descent or cultural background. In his mind, his common he doesn't have a common descent because his people are from Africa. But what he's saying is the cultural background. He's saying that his culture mixed in with all the other cultures of America, mixed in with American. That's his cultural background, American. If I'm saying
he
that
said that's his ethnicity.
That's what they're saying. Ethnicity is on
14th Amendment ethnicity. My people was from here always. They didn't always.
Hold on, Mr. Highcastle.
Going through.
Hold on. Your people cannot always be from here because this is a new world country. The people who came to America came from some other continent. So we have to.
No, my people were already here.
Oh, you're saying
Native
your people were Native American, Black Native Americans. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that my people were already here.
Well, the first people, if you're saying that the Native Americans who were first here before anybody else came, and some of those Native Americans were Black people, then I'll shut my mouth.
No, my people didn't come from the Bering Strait. They were already here.
Okay. Again, this is a new world country. You have to come from the east to go to the west. So somebody came from somewhere to inhabit this country. Whether they came across the Bering Strait, whether they came through the islands, through Latin America, they came from another continent. And Africa is the oldest continent on Earth.
Plymouth Rock landed on us. My people were already here.
Okay.
So he's given his opinion, right? We understand what the fact is and the difference between fact and opinion and idea. So let's take him at his opinion of what it is. Getting back to the root of it, what is the correlation, the connection between illegal immigrants and SNAP and the Democrats? Now, with that being said, just know that two of us on this panel are independents and one person is a Democrat. And I haven't asked you what you were because you can tell us if you want.
I voted for this.
Okay, got it. So with that being said, getting back to SNAP and equating that to the Democrats holding SNAP up for a vote that might happen in 2 decades. How does that relate? How do those relate?
They don't.
Lynn,
Well, if you see what's going on, people do need to eat, and these these illegal immigrants, they're popping out babies left and right. So say, for instance, on racial average, the average age of the illegal immigrants that came over here during COVID-19 is age 10.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on, whoa. How could anybody be 10 when COVID-19 just happened 3 years ago?
The average age of the illegal immigrant is age 10. Let's say that.
Why
More illegal children came over here than adults.
But where are you pulling that from?
Let's just say that.
Why would
How
we
about
say
How about we say they're age 14?
I can't just say
Within 4 more years, they'll be 18, old enough to vote.
got that. Now, again, that's your opinion. However, the reason why I can't accept those numbers is because we actually put information real time. And so if you make a statement, you don't have to back it up, but we will fact check it. That's what we're doing in the background. If you see us not looking at the monitors, it's because we're duck going. We're looking stuff up in 4 or 5 different places, right? So I can't just accept your numbers if you don't give me a foundation of where I can look, because you're grabbing in the air, and that be your opinion. Yeah, but I can't take your opinion as fact.
Let's just deport them all. How about that?
Okay, let's take that scenario.
And we can use our prisoners and pay them well.
Okay.
With the incentive of this, cut their time off for non-violent offenses.
Okay, so even if you take that situation and scenario into consideration, what you don't have is enough prisoners to actually replace the amount of immigrants that work the farms or anything in agriculture at the same rate. So we still won't make progress. We'll still be in a hole. That's the issue. And that directly spirals into economic downfall and turmoil, which are Nebraska, Iowa, as well as various other farmers around the country are experiencing right now, because they don't have the hands to actually work with harvest and crops, as well as beef.
And you know what he said earlier, Mr. The man in the high castle, what he said earlier about there's going to be some problems. You're going to have to, show some American grit. And what he's basically saying is, if you have laws on the books and you're not enforcing those laws, so if you don't enforce all the laws equally, then you're just handpicking what laws you really want to enforce. And so if you're handpicking and being subjective over what laws you want to enforce and what laws you don't, then you don't really have a country.
Right.
That's what he's really saying in a nutshell. And that's what the voters said in 24. And I keep telling you this, and I keep saying next summer, if this is going the way I think it's going to go, the Republicans can hold the House and the Senate, and with the help of a stimulus check, if it's 25 to 3,000, it's guaranteed. If he tries to be cheap, President Trump, if he tries to be cheap and only send out 500 or 600, he may lose being cheap. But
I'll come back to that in a second, because at the rate of speed that healthcare is going to increase, which is at least by 30%, depending on where you are in the country. Okay. $3,000 to $5,000 ain't gonna make a dent in the debt that you're going to be in by the time next summer arrives. But before we progress, Brother Lee Brooks, welcome on to the Family Bloodline Network, The Pulse. Where you at, my brother? Let's weigh in on it. Give me a second. Let me unmute you.
Listening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
To the gentleman who said 50,000 is a little bit overblown. I think it's more like 10,000. Pardon me, 10 million. Pardon me. Yeah. I would agree. It's for a voting block in the future. That was the idea. Hey, let them in. We let them in, quote unquote. We, the royal we, right? And then it'll be like they will support us in the future. Democratic Party. I'm an independent. As you know, I'm from Ohio.
Yep.
So, and I live in California. So,
so where is that statement coming from? Where is that statement being generated from? I'm not saying it's true or false. I'd like to look it up and see where the Democrats have pushed out in the airways en masse to say we will allow 10 to 50 million illegal immigrants to come into the country now.
I would say just looking at like a conservative number, I think 50 is very, very extreme. kind of hyperbolic, if anything. 10 is I'll look up the numbers, Sir Worshipful Glass, and then I'll find that link for you. I think 10 is accurate because I think a lot of people
That's
want
not
to.
the question. That's not the question.
Yeah,
the
but-
question is, what Democrat said this?
So let me answer that for you, Mr. Brooks. Let me answer that for you. See, the Democrats are not going to tell you to your face what they're up to. Now, the Republicans will tell you in 2025, if you care to read it, because this is what Mr. Glass has said religiously. This is what he said. See, the Republicans have that Southern charm currently right now. They'll tell you up front, we don't want you here. We want you out. At least some of the Republicans do. Some of them.
Yeah, and so I got the general understanding that behind a closed door, there was math done to say that if we progressively allow this many people in, they're going to end up voting for us. I got that. The question that I'm asking is, in mass or in part, have the Democrats push that narrative?
They're not going to tell you.
Oh, good question. I will say this: you can't actually, they can't actually say that out loud. But if you look at it, it's an understanding of like, oh, why, right? Oh, okay. This is what the potential result could be.
Okay.
Like, if you really look at it, it's like, well, all right, what are they going to do? Hey, in that administration, they said, hey, we brought you a pathway, quote unquote, home to America. We, quote unquote, brought you a way to like increase your wealth and family's wealth. Henceforth, you, quote unquote, should vote for us in said future. And I think that's a fair, like, logical pathway to look at it.
So the question.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead, Lynn. That's on you.
It is hard for me to buy into something that has never been said and has never happened. Now, also walk me through this logically. Jay Glass, are the borders open or are they closed on today?
They're open.
According to who?
Anybody? People are still coming.
According to the orange dude, they're what?
They're closed.
They're closed, right? So hear me out. So
Yeah.
if they're closed,
Mhm.
how is anybody getting in here today
Fair point.
illegally?
So let me answer that.
To the church,
Tell me.
churches.
Hold on.
Churches.
IOM. IMO.
They got Star Trek equipment. They're beaming into
Hold
churches.
on. Let me
If
answer
the border is closed, how are you getting into this country?
So, Mr. Brooks,
Lynn.
Mr. Man in the High Castle. Let me see. There's three of us and two of them, so they've already outvoted. So let's do this.
Here
So we know about the illegal smuggling with the drugs, and they
Yeah.
also illegally smuggle people underground into the country. Okay, and they also do it on boats and anywhere else they can do it. So that's the first one. So that's an asinine question. But
No,
it
it's
comes
not,
down-
because most illegals became illegal with expired documents.
Yes.
So
Not coyotes.
So this is this.
We don't have 50 million people here because of coyotes. Stop it.
So, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Man in the High Castle, I'm laughing to myself because I tried to educate some people a few months ago, or actually back in 24 about the election, and they laughed and they hee haw. So now they steady talking. And I said, well, I tell you what, if the Democrats are so true to what they're saying, then they should take back both houses, no problem, in 26. And I'm sitting here today, Mr. Brooks and Mr. Man in the High Castle, and I hear you loud and clear because I am also an independent, no party preference. And when I know there's a certain percentage of America who don't want to talk, who don't want to really tell you how they feel, but y'all have been brave enough to come on here and speak from your heart on what you're seeing and how you're feeling, then that tells me something. The Democrats don't have a shoe-in to win next year's midterms. Now, if they pull this stunt with this CR by holding on to the enhanced subsidies, if they can pull it and force the Republicans to come back to the table, they got a chance. But if they cave in any form or fashion, they will not win next year, period.
Hey, Steph. So there's an understanding that the Dems and the Republicans are not coming back to the table to discuss American health care. regardless of where you fall on that thread. But let me and I'm gonna get back to Snipe in a second. Let me ask you all this.
I think a bet on that. Can I put a bet on that?
Bet on what?
Let him go. Let him go. Your $100.
It's a bet on that one.
Let him go. Let him go.
Hold on.
should
Man,
bet on that.
he's got my back. I'll put up 100. I'll put up 100 for him.
Look,
Hey.
keep your money. Keep your money.
Jesus come back
Should bet on that.
and have your back too. But at the end of the day, I tell baby Jesus just like I tell everybody else. I'm not a betting man.
Neither am I, and I look at it like what the gentleman is saying there, and while I understand his point as an independent, as I am as well. I come from a red state, usually a kind of a purple reddish state.
Georgia.
And you look at the history of America, 8 U.S. presidents from Ohio, right? And and I'm looking from okay, a state where I come from where I have great friends who are on the left. I have great friends who are on the right. We are able to have a conversation without being disagreeable, without calling each other names, without any sort of civil, actually with civility, the better way to say it. And I respect that. That's why I do love this podcast, and I watch it a lot, almost every day, every time it's on, at least. And I look at it like we have got to come up with a way to be able to have these conversations with respect to each other, with real, actual intellectual kindness. Otherwise, it's just going to be this weird situation where, you grew up in Ohio, automatically you're red, and I can't talk to you. I cannot have the conversation with you, right? So you've just ended any sort of ability to actually communicate, right? Then nothing gets done.
Agreed.
And then, you're from the left. Oh, you guys are idiots. Oh, yeah, I can't, there's nothing I can say to be reasonable for you guys to actually understand, right? And if we come at it like that, still nothing gets done. We are at this standstill of, I'm going to bury my head in the sand, right and left, and still no resolution occurs. That is our current political government right now.
Yes and no. I can agree to that. I can agree to some of that because the Democrats have requested that the Republicans come to the table and actually discuss health care so that they can open the government back up. That has happened, but the Republicans have simply continued, unfortunately, to point the finger at the Democrats and say that it's a Democratic-run shutdown when they control all three branches of government, which is odd to me.
So they don't want the issue of, I forgot what number piece of legislation it is. I forgot the actual specific number, that any undocumented immigrant will get benefits. That is the crux of the matter here. It's within some sort of legislation that they want, because if they agree to it, then they can say, "Hey, you know what? We got a victory." And under the Obamacare, we'll call it, that's a part of that legislation, that piece of legislation. Okay, great. Republicans are like, no, because then they're going to be like, well, we agree to some undocumented immigrants to have health care,
right?
Because of that piece of legislation. They don't want that.
But that's not happening. That's not what's happening. Hold
on, Mr. Glass.
Hold on, give me a second, because we read this. I put this up in black and white in 1996. Right, it had already been added to the act that was pushed out, saying that, and it actually uses the term illegal immigrants cannot receive health care benefits except for in case of, right, and it continued on into the Affordable Care Act as well. I haven't heard the Democrats say, well, we want to open healthcare up to illegal immigrants. What I have
no. I didn't say they want to open it up to illegal immigrants. I will say they want to continue the Obamacare Act, which says that a portion of those individuals are going to be able to receive healthcare benefits.
Mr. Brooks. Hold on, Mr. Brooks. I strongly 1000% agree with you. That's exactly what it is. Now
That's
check
not-
this out. Check. I don't care what they think.
Even just because y'all say that doesn't make it correct.
No,
Y'all
because
The licensed health insurance person doesn't get a vote.
Check this out.
can
Hold
be
on,
a-
wait a minute. Check this out.
Check
This
it
guy
out.
in the barbershop, this guy in the barbershop was going to take $100 out of my hands, and I had to walk away from him. He says, I guarantee you, when it's all said and done, the Republicans will come back. They don't want to. Because if they come back to the table, number one, the Democrats have already won. They forced them back to the table. And it's going to be about the enhanced subsidies to keep it going. And part of that thing of the enhanced subsidies to keep it going is a small percentage of that for emergency services will go to undocumented immigrants.
But that's 0.4%
No.
of emergency
It
service.
doesn't matter. I tried to tell you this in 24 about
Brett.
transgender, about the border.
Mr. Worshipful Glass, the phrasing is correct. A portion, even though it might be 0.4, like right now,
But it's not
the Republicans are at a stance where they want 0.0,
Thank
and
you,
the
Mr.
Democrats
No,
want.
you're still wrong because
It's
that
not
portion of
individualized.
emergency
You're not
service
wrong, Mr. Brooks.
is
You're
not
wrong.
just for illegal immigrants, it's for everybody.
I understand that.
Uninsured person that goes to ER.
Listen to
Every
this. Hold on.
uninsured
Mr.
person that
Brooks,
goes to ER.
We're not helping each other if we talk over each other.
Hold on a second. See, Mr. Brooks, that's why I'm glad you and the man in the High Castle came on. I'm glad that God sent y'all to me. Because he just took the words that I've been saying all along about illegal immigrants and then he used it. The point is this. The Republican Party says, if you're not in this country legally, you're not getting a dime, period. End of conversation.
All right. Worshipful Brooks, you
That's
agree
not
with
true either, Richard.
I would say the way this administration is right now, they want nobody, and I mean 0.00 of anybody who's undocumented in this country to have health care. No one.
my fellow man in the High Castle? Do you agree with that statement as well? He may have taken a pause.
No, one more time.
I was asking
One
if
more
you
time.
if you agree with the statement that the Republicans are saying they want 0.000% of illegal immigrants to be covered by health care. Do you agree with that statement as well?
For the foreseeable future, correct.
Okay. Lynn, what's your take on that?
All right, let me inform and educate.
That's pretentious.
Brooks, I'm talking now, please. So let me inform and educate, and that's not pretentious. That's what I do.
When you say let me inform and educate, that's pretentious.
Mr.
You have your opinion. Say your opinion.
No, listen,
Let him
Mr.
go.
Brooks, please don't interrupt.
Go ahead,
That's
sir.
rude. That's rude. Coverage is not insurance. When someone goes to an ER in any state, funds come from the federal government to provide to hospitals for emergency care. That is not coverage. That is not health insurance. And too many people conflate the two. That's why I'm glad I'm on this panel. So for those who are open to being informed and educated can learn.
God sent you to me, Lynn.
Health insurance coverage for people who are here illegally. I cannot sell it. It can't be sold. I sell health insurance. I'm the only one here who does. So please take it from me. This is not about getting illegals health insurance coverage. This is about the people who are already in the Affordable Care Act to get the subsidies that they were to have them continued that they were promised from before. That's what this stalemate is about. And the way we can settle that is if you give the Democrats just that, just the ACA subsidies, what do you believe they're going to do? Continue the stalemate or come to the table?
Mr. Brooks, Mr. Man in the
Yes,
High
sir.
Castle. Mr. Brooks, Mr. Man in the High Castle. let me respond to Mr. Medeiros. Okay, so
Still
by,
here, big-
by the words of the healthcare insurance that he's talking about, he is correct. What you and Mr. Highcastle are trying to state, and I have tried to state it too, regardless of how you call it, whether it's healthcare coverage or any type of financial assistance to someone who is undocumented that comes to this country, no matter how they receive it, whether they receive it through a state government and the state government gets reimbursed by the federal government, it doesn't matter. Any money, regardless of how it comes, if it's spent on someone that's undocumented, the Republicans are saying we're not having it, and that's where we're at.
I would agree with that. Like, even in an emergency situation, right now, this administration says, we didn't say the magic word. No, like, okay, yes, that person's going to get that treatment, but that person is going to pay for it.
Well,
Period.
then,
That's just why this administration, that's the stance of this administration.
go
So,
ahead.
Mr. Medeiros, you
Yep.
took your exams at the SOA?
At the what?
Did you take your exams at the SOA?
I don't even. I can't hear the initials you're saying. S.
That's-
Why don't you just say the word?
OA.
Why don't you just say
Did
the
you
word?
did you take your exams at the Society of Actuaries? Yes or no?
No, I did
All
not.
right then. Thank you.
But I have a degree in actuarial science from Temple University. Class of
Okay.
90.
You're not Stern type. You're not Stern. You're not built like that. I got you.
Not built like what?
You're not Stern. You're not built. You're not built on Stern.
So,
What- I
so
don't even know what that
okay.
means.
Stern
Let me
University.
You're not built on Stern University.
What is Stern University?
That's the school, I think, in New York. New York University is a school of business of Stern, I believe, in New
Yeah,
York, between the universities and
Okay, what does that have to? What does that have to do with my credentials?
let me,
What
let,
he's saying is that particular school
Just
has a
I wanted to make sure.
a liberal.
Let
I wanted to make sure who I'm speaking to.
That's
I don't think you can belittle a person based upon academic credentials. I
I'm
have
not saying
3
you
college
go in.
college
Here you go
degrees.
again, Mr. Brooks.
Uh,
I'm not trying to belittle. I am stating the facts.
right.
But
If
we-
you want to interpret it as
hold on.
belittling, that's
But
your
wait a minute.
business.
Hold on. You stated the facts using the correct terminology. What we've done is we've gone back to also inform everyone the rest of the facts.
Right.
The point is, any money from the federal government that the state government uses in the emergency rooms at these state hospitals for
Exactly.
anyone that's undocumented,
Richard.
they can turn around and get reimbursed from the federal government. And that's
Richard.
what President Trump is saying he will not do.
Richard,
Yes, exactly. That's exactly true.
Question.
I
Richard,
know.
He does not want to do anything for whether it be an emergency, whether you got your cut and you got to go to the urgent care, nothing. He wants like
Question for
absolutely
Richard.
nothing.
question for Richard.
and go ahead, Lynn.
If an undocumented person goes to ER
Mhm.
with an emergency,
Right.
will they get cared for?
Yes.
They will get cared for,
Yes.
but they do not. They're that individual is going to have to pay for it. It's not going to come out of the federal government money. That is what
Okay.
this whole thing is about.
Now,
Okay.
Mr. Brooks and Mr. Man in the High Castle, this is what I was trying to tell Mr. Glass last year. I said there's a few areas where the Republican Party can get themselves caught into a trap. Here's one. If you say that you have a belief in God and you are, pursuing God, you're stopping abortion, you don't want racial quotas and all that. If your belief in God is that strong, then if a person comes to the country illegally or undocumented, yes, that is wrong. But if they go in a life-threatening situation to the ER by the righteousness of God, you should care for that person. For
They
righteousness.
will. They will.
I agree with you. They should care for them, and they
It's not
will
about-
care for
it's not
them.
up for discussion.
Except for the government is not going to pay for that.
Well, hold on. Time out.
They're going to get the care.
Give me a second, right? Because what y'all are saying doesn't match up with what the Republican Party claims this nation to be, right? Because if the mantra that America, which it isn't, is a Christian nation, well, then that very rule that they will be inhumane to a person because of finances or fiat currency. Can you continue? I'm gonna put you on mute real quick because you got a lot of background. Can you continue to call yourself a Christian nation if you won't take care of the sick, if you won't treat those who are in need at that point? It becomes a portion or a push and a movement of the thing that the Republican Party tries to ride high on when they're out in public, which is under the label and under the banner of Christianity. But if
Worshipful
you're
Glass, I agree with you. And I agree with the point that you're making. I know that in this administration that they say, yes, we will treat them. We will absolutely treat them, those individuals. However, however it gets paid for, it's got to come out of that individual's pocket instead of the government or state's pocket. That is the crux of the matter right now.
if the individual does not have the means to pay for it, then what?
They still get treated. Then that the money gets kind of like a loss. Like when you return an item at a store in Walmart and like or what do you call it? Costco. Then it's kind of a wash.
Which is what we do now, right? So
Right.
So we're pushing you. I think people are trying to split hairs, and the American people are getting caught in the crossfire because of what they want to say versus their actions. Now, speaking of the American public, right? And we know SNAP benefits are due to stop November 1st. This is switching topics and getting back on the SNAP. What then do we do about the millions of Americans who are going to end up going hungry, with the understanding that there are still some funds remaining on their cards, hopefully, although we know that there's $5 to $6 billion that the USDA can actually release as it's written during contingency issues or a lapse in funding. Go ahead, Rich.
So I'm gonna make it simple.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about that $5 billion because we'll go off into a tangent about how crazy President Trump is.
I agree.
And so I'll let y'all have that and win that argument. But here's what's interesting about all these super churches. Let's talk with Joel Osteen, prosperity preacher. So this is your chance to step up to help those who have come to the country undocumented, or if they're here legally, they're born here and they need food stamps. This is your chance to show your Christian spirit. But see, Joel Osteen already showed who he was during the Hurricane Katrina situation. If anyone remembers.
Richard, don't.
Okay.
Don't.
Okay.
Because listen, the same information you won't trust from the USDA, you're now you're trying to trust this kind of information. I was here. What you're about to say is not true.
So Joel Osteen didn't shut those doors to those people?
First of all, his name is Osteen.
Oh, I'm sorry, Osteen.
And yes, he did open the church, but guess what? The church was flooded and damaged also. See, a mega church is not some kind of dome that God protects during a natural disaster.
That's
messed up as well. So it took a minute. But yours truly was one of the people down there moving pallets for the less fortunate, my wife and myself. So, and I can send you Jamal Bryant today said, don't tithe this Sunday, bring food. So churches are responding to the call that SNAP on Saturday is not going to be reloaded.
Can you send me the link of where that church, where his mega church was devastated by Hurricane Katrina? I want to see that link. I didn't
say devastated. I said damaged.
Okay, send me the link where it says that, because
that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Because all I'm simply trying to say is this: this is a crisis. We want everybody to eat, whether you're here in the country legally or illegally, whatever.
Why do we care about illegals eating? Why do we care about them eating?
Okay, hold on. So we push them off to a side for a second, because the Republicans are basically dug in on this. But I told you the Democrats have to dig in too, because those enhanced subsidies to take care of the increase of healthcare costs on healthcare cost insurance on November 1st is going to affect Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So no, because you're right back where I started, because the people that are getting caught in the crossfire with this are the American people whose healthcare will increase 30%, or the millions of Americans who will suffer not receiving their SNAP benefits. And regardless of the churches that are in the community, because churches, but whether it be a mega church or the local neighborhood church, most of them, I want to say, because I have faith in that, most of them have done right by the people in their direct population by trying to influence and assist them. But we don't have enough churches to feed the millions of Americans that the government has already promised these actual benefits to.
I thought those benefits were promised prior to October 1st, before President Trump took the White House on January 20th of 2025. But I'm not for sure on that, because that's an argument within itself. So
no, you're correct. The funding was already appropriated to be pushed and sent to these actual benefits for this fiscal, so that they could be appropriated, and even the contingency funds.
All right. So I'm not going to dispute about there's not enough churches. I won't dispute that.
They're asking for more.
Right. So here's what I do see. When you're at war, there's going to be some casualties. And after the war, you have a winner or a loser. And sometimes you may have two people both agreeing to just stop the war and let's, make peace. The Democrats are so upset and so embarrassed that President Trump won re-election. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to keep him off the ballot. It didn't stop him. He claims someone tried to shoot at him. Whether you believe he was shot at or not shot at, that's an argument. But he won again in 9 consecutive terms. Only the second president to do that in U.S. history. So he has made history. And now he's vengeful. And he's on a war path against anybody who tried to upset him or keep him from running again. And so when they didn't win, the Democrats as a whole did not win. This is the payback. Now, how can the Democrats stop all this bloodshed? They have to dig in, and there's going to be some casualties. Because or should I say, when they...
Yep. Before you go there, the man in the castle, going back to what I was saying, the people caught in the middle, SNAP benefits, contingency funds being held. Where are you at on that?
That's a great question. As an American, I would say that Americans, we're going to have to hold out. We're going to have to hold out. Everybody who's in a red state, you guys are going to have to try to not cannibalize each other. It could be over 90 days. It could be under 90 days, but y'all got to chill out there, especially up here in blue states. We can handle it.
Mr. Man in the high tower, can I interject, sir?
I was going to get to you as well. So go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, continue, man.
I wasn't done. But hold on, I'm going to speed up.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
But for the illegal immigrants who are on ITIN, they're receiving individual tax income numbers, and they're trying to file some more. They've been laying up in the Roosevelt Hotel, $500 a night per head. They're receiving some type of dark money.
I got to pause you out there because I know where you're going. That's conspiratory because illegals cannot file any type of tax documents to receive any funding.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can, sir.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
In order for them,
do you know what ITIN are?
It's actually a TIN or an EIN. I think you might be pulling those two together, unfortunately.
No, ITINs.
Better yet, the money that they're filing for would be like a stipend or a per diem that's given by the federal government. And those people would be those that are on some type of asylum or refugee type of case.
That's true.
Illegal immigrants can file for taxes.
Illegal immigrants can't file for taxes. Illegal or actual asylum seeking or refugees can request funding from the federal government, and they can also be denied. And at this point, with the government shutdown, I don't believe those appropriations are actually being dispensed. I could be wrong on that because I haven't gone to look that part up, but they can't file for taxes. They can't file for taxes.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to catch up to y'all. So I'm reading quick. Go ahead.
They can file and they can receive benefits, SNAP benefits too.
Okay, so
undocumented immigrants, not illegal, undocumented immigrants can get an ITIN.
Okay. So I'm looking at the IRS. I'm looking at the IRS website, if y'all trust it, and it says an ITIN issued by the IRS for federal tax purposes only. An ITIN doesn't qualify you for Social Security benefits, provide or change immigration status, authorize you to work legally in the U.S., serve as identification outside the federal tax system.
You know what it allows you to do? Have your taxes withheld by your employer.
Absolutely.
Isn't that nice? That they get the opportunity to pay into a system that they will never benefit from.
At all.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? You know what's happening here in the world today? Less and less people are waking up and dreaming about coming to this place. That's the reality.
Yeah.
I've worked on other continents. I've led companies on other continents, and the American dream is going south. I'm not surprised the borders aren't being flooded and overrun. Who would want to come here?
Yeah.
Under these circumstances, if you can read and write and comprehend. If you describe this country to me and I was from another country, I wouldn't even want to visit.
Yeah. And a quick point of clarification and honesty to the man in the high castle. Yeah, my apologies. I should have let you finish talking before I said that you were conflating the EIN and the TIN. But I get what you're saying, the ITIN. So my bad on that. Pushing over to Brother Brooks. Where are you at? Weigh in on this.
I look at it, the whole thing started where people started abusing the system. Oh, great. Now I have the ability to get food stamps. Wait, okay. That's going to run out if I have another kid. Oh, I get that as extended, and then I get more money for food stamps.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that's running out after my second kid. Oh, I'm going to have another kid. Third kid. And then it got to the point where they realized, they were like, oh, people are just abusing the situation. And it's just conflating and putting themselves and their whole families in a real deficit, in a real dangerous situation of financially, and then putting the country in well, I would say the fiscal aspect of food stamps, because I grew up in an area, we call them food stamps. There was no politically correct SNAP situation where oh, okay, now they see it, and then they had to make reforms that were like, okay, you get this food stamp allowance for a certain period of time, so they can't abuse it. And then people pushed back on that. And then they were like, no, you can't push back on that because you got to allow people to have freedom of having kids and stuff. But they were like, look at the trends. Right. We talked about at the very beginning of this conversation, the most beneficiary of, forget the ratios. I know the conversation was of who gets the most food stamp benefits are white women. That's just a fact. It's still the fact. And so I look at it like, okay, we've got to come up with a better plan to help those individuals, those families, to actually get out of that cycle. Because that's what it really is. It's just a cycle of oh, I'm afraid I'm going to have another kid and I can have more money. What do you do?
I somewhat agree with you. I somewhat agree with you on that point, and I somewhat disagree because we live in a capitalistic society, and capitalism in and of itself demands a loser. Not everybody can be rich. Not everybody can be middle class. And not everybody's going to be lower class, but there has to be that because that's what this system actually demands.
Okay. I look at it like if we're going to lift up a population who's going through that cycle, whether it been in my generation where I was at Ohio State in 03 to 06, or whether I was in Ohio in high school in the 90s, we've got to be able to figure out a way to okay, great, we got this family X that we need to provide an opportunity for them to get out of that rut, out of that cycle, out of that, because otherwise where do they go? They just exist, and they just exist. That's not living. That's just being.
Survive. It's
Yeah.
they're living
You
in.
know,
And so again, I don't disagree, because America, we should have the affordability, the capability, and the opportunity to actually live, chase, and be our dreams. But I know what capitalism actually.
I'm the first in my family to ever get a college degree. I have 3 sisters, an older brother, like the first in my family. And my sisters are amazing. My older brother is amazing. But it's not like it comes from freaking grit and just grind and pushing away in education, just pushing your way up and through. And it's breaking out of that cycle of, if we continue to do this, we'll just stay the same. And if you're treading water, all you know, and anybody knows anything about treading water, all you're doing is floating and going back.
You know what, Mr. Brooks? You say it with such an eloquence, because when we as African Americans talk about it, we talk about living day to day in the ghetto, short-term mindset, and we're just doing the same thing, repeat cycle. And you see Section 8 in the 80s, you saw it in the 90s, you saw it in the early 2000s, you still see it now. So this particular president, he's trying to eliminate all of that, period. That's what he was elected to do. So when you talk about how do you break that rut? How do you help all people, regardless of their race? How do you help all people come out of that? And you heard Mr. Glass just say, well, capitalism is built on the 3 structures, the high, the medium, and the low. If Mr. Glass is correct in that, if he's correct, well, then AOC and Bernie Sanders senators and all these other far left socialist Democrats, then they're justified. Allegedly, we've been taught that capitalism is what all of the quote illegal immigrants and legal immigrants come to the country because they see economic opportunity to be successful. So the question is, are we going back to the past to make America great again, stopping these food stamps, doing all this other stuff, getting rid of DEI programs? Or are we going to continue that crusade of, hope and change? And yes, we can. America's in a situation of a lifetime right now, and we're seeing it live with this government shutdown.
Yeah.
I could say something. I would say that, Mr. Brooks, do you remember, and everyone on this panel, do you remember when there was paper food stamps?
Yeah.
I do. Yes.
Lynn was talking about that earlier before you hopped on.
So
Do you remember the rule about paper food stamps? Who had to tear the stamps out?
I'm gonna let you get to that, sir. Well, now it's since 2000, early 2000. That's when they switched over to digital debit card. The card, right? It was in the 2000s. Now I believe this is gonna be the next phase. It's gonna no more digital. It's gonna be more virtual.
I see where you're going with that.
I believe that the paper has been phased out, just like how we're using stylus, or they're trying to, instead of the pen. I believe that the card is being phased out, just like how the regular driver's license was phased out almost in May this year.
Yeah.
It became a real ID. I believe that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to be all in one,
All right.
sooner or later.
And I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But there's going to be some requirements, and those requirements are going to be short. It's not going to be forever SNAP benefits.
If I can add to that on what he's saying, Man in the High Castle, this is where this argument from the Republican side about securing the borders, and this is where I agree with them. Once you have an open border, then you have an open world. And once you have an open world, you need one government, one world government to govern the whole world, because you no longer have borders.
Oh man.
So that's, I'll back up.
No, I know where you're going with that. Just like Man in a High Castle, I get what you're driving at also. And I can't directly dispute or refute what y'all are saying. But we can all we can do is hope for the best. So with that being said, gentlemen, that brings us to Around the Horn, where we give our closing observances or opinions or factoids or whatever you want to give. And since we got two new guests with us tonight, we will start with not me. We're not gonna start with me. We got to give it up to the guests. We'll
Can I raise my hand real quick?
yeah.
Can I take my 2 minutes and give 1 minute extra to Mr. Brooks and my other minute to Man in the High Castle, and then I'll be quiet.
Absolutely. Let's so you were giving your time up?
Taking half my time to Mr. Brooks, another half to the Man in the High Castle.
Got it. With that being said, Brother Brooks, it is on you. You there, Lee? He may have stepped away for a second, which is fine. No worries. The Man in the High Castle, it's on you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, it's around the horn, where we give our closing statements, opinions on, and doesn't necessarily have to be on the topics we spoke about tonight. It could be about anything, but you get your individual time to where we're all muted up, and it's you give 2 minutes of information or opinion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Linares. Thank you, Mr. Brown. And thank you, Mr. Movement. I appreciate my first time on the show. Fellow Americans, citizens of Earth, I would like you all to stay composed. I believe within the next 72 hours, food stamps will be back on the books for fellow Americans. There's going to come to a negotiation, and the Democrats will fold. Simple as that. However, don't get too complacent. Don't get too complacent. They're watching you. They're watching me. This is a grace period for Americans to get their stuff together, get their affairs together. Women, you gotta get to cooking. No more door dashing. Easy up on that. And men, we need to get back to supervising our women in the kitchen, meaning watching what they're doing, cleaning their food. We can even participate in it. It's fun. We don't have to be Homer Simpson no more. None of us. We're going to build healthy, strong Americans. And we're going to get this radical curriculum out the educational systems. These children are going to call these numbers on us. That's what they're looking for. They look up to these influencers. They're in their cell phones. They don't know what dating is. They don't know what rejection is. It's time to be the man of the household in the nearby future.
All right, I appreciate that, and those are his opinions, and he has the right to use it and say it and state it however he wants, regardless of whether or not we agree with it. Brother Lee, are you back? Are you back yet, Lee?
Muted.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself, Lee. I can't do it. All right, he might be in conference with someone or somebody. So with that being said, Rich.
Oh no, I give my time to the Man in the High Castle and to Mr. Brooks.
We got a little extra time.
We got a little extra time.
A little extra.
You know what? We've been doing some pretty good shows, in my humble opinion. Is tonight our very best one? I would say tonight is our most crucial one because of the enhanced subsidies and the food stamps that's going to affect so many people in the country. And it's do or die time. And I think this time the Democrats are on the right side. I think this time the Republicans are dug in. And it's going to be interesting to see, because both have to claim victory for their party. That's automatic. But if the Republicans say they're not coming back to the table, they got to hold that ground, because you've already pointed out to me, Mr. Glass and Mr. Medeiros, that he's already bent and twisted on them tariffs. He says one thing one minute and something else the next. Y'all both beat me up on that, and you've been correct. Okay. But this one is crucial. So if the Republicans are going to play hardball, then they can't come back to the table. So to wrap this up, if they even go back to the table, no matter how they spin it, the Democrats will claim victory. And the last time I checked, these Republicans, this particular group of Republicans, with this particular Republican leader, you are not claiming no type of victory, any form or fashion. You will not let the Democrats claim any victory, any form of fashion over you, period. End of conversation. And if the Democrats fold, then they will have lived up to their image of being weak, spineless, and don't know if they're a man or a woman or what they want to do. I mean, I have to say it like this because you don't know if they're a man or a woman. You don't know if they're in the country legally or not. You don't know what sanctuary city they support. Now, those are some hard words. And that's why I said they cannot fold. Period. If you're going to be righteous, then be righteous to the very end and get people those enhanced subsidies to take care of their health care and get the food stamps back on, and make sure the federal employees, regardless of their job classification, they get their back pay. And that should be bipartisan support. Should be no ifs, ands, and buts. I'm done.
All right, I appreciate that. Mr. Medeiros, our resident expert in life insurance.
All right. So in my opinion, we spend a lot of time on the exception and not enough time on the rule. And the reason why, we do that as humans is because the exceptions is where the chaos is. Basically, a promise was made regarding subsidies. And from where I'm sitting, the Democrats are holding fast to make sure that promise is kept. And unfortunately, SNAP is collateral damage. And, for me to logically buy into politicians plotting 20 years down the road, just that math will never math for me, because I know I'm not a politician, but I know, and I've educated myself enough about politics to make the decision not to be one. Because I know if I ever chose to become a politician, I have to lie. And that's not how I want to live my life. So that's not going to be me. But I also know a lot about power. And politicians are not, a politician in Iowa, a Democrat in Iowa is not worried about a Democrat in Florida. Never. He will never lose sleep over that Democrat in Florida, and vice versa. So for people to come away believing that the Democrats want tens of millions of illegal immigrants in this country with the hopes that they will mate and become Democratic voters, it's not how politics works. As soon as you get in office, guess what you got to worry about? Guess what you're doing as soon as you get in office? Getting reelected. You ain't got time to put together no 20-year plan. No business person or intellect. Nobody. Colleges don't have a 20-year plan. But I'm supposed to believe that Democrats say, let's open the borders, bring in all of these illegals in the hopes that they will have lots of babies and those babies will vote for us when I may not even have an office anymore. That's not how power works. That's not how politicians move. And putting real money on that kind of strategy is not the way to go. And I'm done.
All right. I definitely appreciate that around the horn. Lee, if you back, unmute your mic and let me know. We'll get you in. Doesn't look like he's back. So, all right. I will go around the horn for myself. There are certain things that I agree with and certain things that I disagree with. But that's neither here nor there. The place where my heart is stuck right now, regardless of the folks who may have been gaming the system and getting over, right? Because again, relevant to what Lynn is saying, that's the exception, right? That's not the general rule of people not being able to eat, of people not receiving these benefits that were promised to them by the federal government, and that's being used as a very malicious pawn in a game of I want my way, right? And those are the Americans that we as fellow Americans should be thinking about, and for whatever your faith is at this point, should be looking and trying to help figure out how can I assist my fellow countrymen in this time of need. That's what I hope we actually end up doing. Politicians are going to be politicians. That's the unfortunate truth about it. And they're playing in some aspects for keeps of power. That's what they're playing for. They're not playing for keeps of your well-being. That's the difference. My thought as a human who understands humanity, who interacts with deity, my thought, and again, my hope and my heart goes out to the people who will be affected by this most, regardless of if you're in the trailer park or the hood. You're still an American. Whether you like my skin color or not, you're still an American, and you still have every right to the benefits that the government promised you and is revoking. And I can't apologize for the entirety of the United States government, nor will I try to. But what I will say is, in the movement of being a human, if there's anything that I can do to assist you, send an email, hit the line. In the words of Elder Baldwin, paraphrasing, right? James Baldwin, in this great American experiment. We're all here together. We're all living here together. And we're going to either figure out how to live together or we're going to all perish. That's the end result. So, with that being said, I'll try one more time. Brother Brooks, are you back? Negative contact. With that being said, as always, yeah, hey, I appreciate everybody on the panel. And I think it's always worth a shot of giving you all your flowers. You all have a great way of making your points, regardless of where you are on the side of the aisle. And for the most part, for the 99% part of us talking, actually it's 100%. Although we get into our passions, we don't demonize each other about our passions. We don't have to agree on every topic about where we are. But we're bold enough to have the conversations and to show up to have the conversations. And that part is what's important. So I appreciate you all for participating in tonight's panel. With that being said, go ahead, Rich.
And make sure we acknowledge at Emerald Turner 907.
Yeah.
Money can be found to demolish the East Wing. Why is there no money for everyone else? No one in America should be going hungry.
That part Thank you, Ms. Turner. I appreciate that. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Put a little more humanism in America. That's what we need instead of politics. Right? Practice what your deity talks about in love, in faith, and in kindness. Right? So with that being said, as always, thank you, panel. I appreciate y'all. It was a great podcast tonight. I'm looking forward to future interactions, and everybody who watched, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. Sorry I was on my call with my boss. I appreciate the podcast and the gentlemen that are here. Wershi, thank you, sir.
Actually, Lee, I will give you your quick time. You got a minute and a half.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Like everything that you've given the time to. It's fun talking to the panel. I appreciate everybody.
All right, my brother. Thank you for being on. And with that being said, thank you all again for coming out. God bless and good night.